Hello there, welcome to the Distorted Trumpet Show. My name is Phil.
I'm JJ.
And today we have yet another bag of excitement in the form of another pedal to run through how it functions on a trumpet versus a guitar through JJ's mighty rig, which you can't see but is down here.
Yep, so we're going through all the crazy pedals I've got. And really, the real question is, does it sound better on guitar or trumpet?
And obviously it sounds better on the trumpet.
Obviously it's the guitar.
We all know it sounds better on the trumpet.
Alright, well, I've got something that's going to surprise you today.
Awesome, I like surprises.
And I'm going to give you a little prequel because... No, I'm not. I'm going to just let you go. So, bag of truth, bag of truth. Oh, small.
A little diddly one. Oh, interesting.
Interesting, huh? What do we have there?
We have a graphic equalizer.
Yeah, you weren't thinking that, were you?
I wasn't thinking that at all.
Exactly.
Do you know, it's interesting you've got this, right? Because I've seen these on people's pedal boards, and I've always thought, like, what the chuff have you got a graphic equalizer on your pedal board for?
Yeah.
Like, I know why I would use, so when I'm mixing something in Ableton, I have an 8, do they call it an 8 track?
Depends. This should be 7-band, this one.
Band, not track,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
okay.
band.
So I have an 8-band EQ that I stick on Ableton, and I use it and it's perfect and all that sort of stuff. I've kind of never considered using it on a pedal board, so I'm very intrigued what it's for and how it works and what it sounds like.
Yeah. So the reason I chose this one was, again, you know, I've got, as Phil will tell you, I've got a stupid collection of pedals with the wildest synthy harmony. I've got everything in the world, but I think this is the whole world of graphic equalizer is a much overlooked area, and personally I'm really interested to hear what a trumpet sounds like when we cut out various frequencies. So let's go into this pedal. So again, we're not sponsored by Behringer.
No, but if you're interested, Behringer, and if you're watching, please get in touch.
But this just happened to be the one that I had available. So it's a 7-band graphic equalizer. This is the EQ 700. I believe it's a clone, or maybe a disciple of the Boss GE7, which is a exactly what it says, a graphic equalizer 7. And it's a much overlooked effect that can really make a difference. So when you are EQing your trumpet in Ableton, what are you doing?
I'm turning up the mids, but not too much.
Right.
I'm turning some, depending on what I'm playing, I'm turning the bottom end down.
Right.
I'm kind of not touching the really top end.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the sort of, if you're looking at it, it's kind of like the sort of the middle 3.
Yeah.
The middle 3 kind of end up like with the middle one a bit higher, the one on the left.
So you're bumping up the mids a bit. Well, we'll see this a bit later.
Basically, yes. Yeah. So it usually ends up like that. And then if I've got, like, say if I'm playing the super fuzz or the wah through it, then I usually turn them down and make it a bit flatter. But yeah,
I want to put this alongside the fuzz as well, because I'm
Absolutely.
really interested to see what that sounds like. Yeah, so the way that I use it, I mean, you see a lot of videos online about people saying, okay, you know, make my Gibson Les Paul, my Gibson SG sound like a Strat, make my Strat sound like a Gibson, which you can do by increasing or cutting the mids. I normally have one going as a block in my Helix, just to bring out the sort of character of a particular guitar, rather than really trying to change the sound of it. And it's useful depending on where you're playing. You know, sometimes if you're in a different room or you're playing outside, you just need to tweak things a bit, and it's really useful to have something there. In terms of the sort of the sonic difference between a guitar and a trumpet, from what I understand, the trumpet is a smaller area. Yes. If you looked at sort of the the overall output of a guitar,
Yeah.
the trumpet is kind of a bit smaller and a bit more mid-focused with a bit of top end.
Yes.
So it's going to be really interesting to put some, what I would call standard settings on this that I would use on a guitar, and see how they sound on the trumpet. But also there's some fun stuff that we can do. There's like some very common lo-fi settings, so we can see how lo-fi sounds on trumpet. I mean,
definitely.
It's not a wacky pedal, but I think it's overlooked because you can get some great stuff out of it. Should we put it on the board?
Yes, let's plug it in.
Sounds
good.
All right, so we're back. So we're going to start with the with how this sounds on a guitar. So today I'm using my 1999 Gibson SG Standard. This is my clean tone, and again we're just going guitar, graphic equalizer. You can see, well, there's actually a fuzz in the chain. It's not on now. We'll put it on a little bit later. For the minute, it's guitar, graphic equalizer into my blackstar, amped 2, super clean, super straight, everything at 12, directly into a Marshall 1x12, and you're hearing the in-room sound. So this is my clean tone. I'm on the neck pickup. And just because we want to focus on the trumpet, but let's see why, you know, something that we can do on a guitar. So this is a very classic Gibson beefy sort of humbucker sound. So let's throw this on. And what I've done, I've tried to put a setup which reduces the mids and then pumps up the top. So this is how people say that is a good way to make your Gibson Les Paul SG in this case sound like a Strat.
Okay.
Let's turn it back off. And you know, people say they do that if they're doing like a pub gig or something, they have to do a whole load of covers.
Yeah.
They need a Strat sound, they need a Les Paul sound.
Okay.
You can just throw that in the chain. This is my, this sort of easy high pitch sound. So that's the guitar. We're not going to do any more than that. Let's dive straight into the trumpet.
Cool.
I'm going to be on the controls.
Controller.
I've got some cheap notes, so let's turn it off. And then I'm going to try and do, my aim is to do what on guitar would be a humbucker to single coil, also the reverse, so single coil to humbucker.
Okay.
Then I'm going to try and make a sound with you that you think improves the sound.
Yeah.
And then we'll try some lo-fi just for a bit of fun. And I need your ear here to make it know what works. But for those of you who've not used EQ pedals before, one thing I will say, hopefully you can see this. Don't go for big exotic movements like that, or you're going to run directly into distortion. Yeah. Everything should be very, very subtle, very bass. And actually some people do use an EQ pedal as a boost.
Yeah.
You can just most of them have got this, so you've got a volume there.
Yes.
So you can just run it as a boost. It's not the most beautiful boost, but it is a boost if you happen to need a boost.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's listen to your clean tone, please. Okay, so that's everything flat. If you keep playing, I'm just going to turn up the volume, see what the boost is like. So that's actually quite a beefy boost.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't hear it on the video, but in the room, it really felt
Definitely.
a significant boost. So, for example, if you're doing something where you need to suddenly get louder, you could use an EQ pedal as a boost.
Yeah.
So I'm now going to try something similar to the settings that I had. So if you carry on playing some sort of basic stuff, and I'll tweak. So how does that sound to you?
That's too. The highs are too much.
I mean, for me, it's horrible. It's very thin. So what that's done is just what I showed on the Gibson SG there. Right. I've taken a fat sound,
yes, and
I've thinned it down.
Yeah.
So
that's not nice.
So let's just reset to 0. Can play. And let's do something the reverse. So let's beef the middle and take the bass down.
Interesting.
Let's play that again. So thinking about the way that this 7-band equalizer is set up, I've taken the bass all the way off, but actually there shouldn't be much. This should be irrelevant.
Should be
to your sound anyway.
Don't usually touch it.
Can we just try that to see what difference it does make? Let's try and take out the top. And again, there's not much top.
Oh,
I'm going to take that down a bit. And I thought it was quite nice as we increase these middle frequencies. For me, that's a warmer.
So that's rounder.
Warmer and rounder.
Yeah.
So let's try it with that again.
Maybe a bit.
Well, how else would you like to?
I would take it down just a touch.
Take down the mids.
Take the mids down just a touch.
So I'm gonna. So for me, that is kind of the setting that you'd be looking for something like moving into a solo or something where need that warmer sound. Yeah. Can you ever imagine an instant when you'd want a thinner sound with a trumpet?
Probably if I was looking to cut through. So like if I play, so my harmony, the one that the sort of brassy copper one, that's got like a sort of piercing sort of a sound. That's often quite good if you sort of wanted to just either penetrate a bunch of general noise and just sort of have it stand out.
Okay.
So probably something like, say, you had full on fuzz and wah going on your guitar, and drums are going mad. I would probably
need something.
I would probably want something a bit thinner to try and cut through all that, or boost the shit out of it. To like one of the two.
Option 2.
Yeah, always. Yeah.
All right. So now I want to play around with going for something lo-fi. So if you can kind of play, please.
See, that's interesting. That sounds like my straight mute.
Does sound like a mute, doesn't it? Yeah.
That's my straight mute, which I haven't, which is
That's not unpleasant. That's a nice
yeah,
sound.
that's like that's a brass bandy type sound.
Yeah. So there I've just dropped the three middle bands down,
Right.
and everything else is up. I mean, we've kind of decided that these two extreme ones don't seem to do much anyway.
No.
I can't get the sort of lo-fi sound that you get from a guitar.
No.
With this.
Yeah.
With this trumpet.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Right. So the other thing I wanted to do was to run the fuzz and see what I could do when you've got the fuzz playing. I don't know if this should be before or after. It probably should be after, but hey ho. So let's put the fuzz on. Is that where you'd normally be with the fuzz?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try, see what we can do with that. There I feel like we've taken out some of with the mids when you've got the fuzz on.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels over distorted. I think that
Yes.
has brought some of that down. Let's try the other way. Let's play again.
That's almost horrible.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a level in somewhere in all of that was like verging on just a bit too offensive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Sonically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Super interesting though.
Yeah. So you say that when you do your recordings, do you regularly EQ
Always.
after?
Always.
And you just...
Sometimes so if I'm playing so usually with Ableton tends, I've found, to either whack the trumpet all the way up, and like the slightest thing I do is clipping, you know, it's like it's in the red.
Yeah.
So usually what I do is I'll record it however I play it.
Right.
And then I'll go in afterwards and I'll stick the EQ, 8-band EQ on it.
Right.
And I'll get that level, and then I'll just take the whole of the volume of the trumpet track, just sort of make it narrow, just bring it all down.
Yeah.
And like there is a name for the technique, but in Ableton it's just sort of like you see the wav just like the intensity of it's just reducing. But yeah, basically yeah. Yeah,
you're compressing
sort of manually.
But just the whole thing, or are you taking the ends? Are you
usually the whole thing, but if there's a bit that sticks out specifically, you know, like if I've got the wire, that tends to go a little bit over the top. Yeah. But yeah, I'll stick the EQ on everything, because I just think it makes it sound better.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you know, part of my mixing process.
Yeah.
So would you use this? So let's, I mean, this is part of the question really.
Yeah.
Are these effects useful for you as a live trumpet player? Would you think about getting a graphic equalizer? Is there a time that you could see yourself using it, or is it just not interesting to you?
Maybe in the future. I think if I got to a point where I had, yeah. I think if I got to a point where I had a pedal board that was like that, and I'm going to try and put a photo somewhere in here so you can see what I'm talking about. If I ever got a trumpet playing through something like this, then I imagine, yes, I would do. At the level that I'm at the minute with my board, which is the same as that one.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think I would know, because the sound that we got from all of that worked the best was the warmer, rounder sound, which I tend to be able to get from the reverb.
Okay.
The reverb and the delay, and just sort of my style of playing, and the trumpet on its own. But it's interesting because, like, the deeper we go into all of this, the further away from the trumpet sound we're getting. You know, I said in one of the other videos, was it the first one, like, you know, part of the mission of this is like exploring and experimenting what to do to be able to make this thing sound like that.
Okay.
And the more that and there is a part of it where the sort of the purist in me wants to switch all the pedals off and just play the thing. And there is obviously a place for that, but yeah, I think for the EQ, immediately, I don't think I probably would use it.
Okay. And
super interesting though.
And there's one thing that we said we're going to do at some point in the future, which is to replicate the sound of this Japanese player. Can you remind me of his name?
Yeah, Toshinori Kondo.
Yeah. So we've had a look at what we can garner
what we can pick out
from the pedal board that he used, because unfortunately he's passed, right?
Yeah, a couple of years ago. Yeah.
So I think he had an EQ on there.
I think he did.
But we'll do that as a special episode one time when we'll try and recreate his board, because I saw he was using a lot of harmony. He always had a whammy.
Yeah.
And we've got a whammy just down there, so that's going to be coming soon.
Yes.
So it's not first on the list. It's a bit. I think for me, it looking at that sort of sound playing in the room, it did give you that warmer sound.
Definitely.
But also it can be used as a boost. You know, if that's one thing that is good.
Yeah. And obviously I've got the boost on the Super Fuzz.
Yeah.
So
you do.
Which I would probably use, because there are times when I find that I do need to turn my volume up.
I find that boost a bit fuzzy though. Do you find it? I find it a clean boost, or
I don't find it clean. I find it a bit harsh.
Yeah, so for me, it's not a clean boost. It's a fuzzy boost. So I don't like it as a boost.
No, I haven't messed about. I know we did the other week, but I haven't messed about while I've been playing.
Yeah.
While the boost's been on with the knobs to try and soften it a little bit.
Yeah.
I think if you could soften it, then it serves a definite purpose.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it works, but just as normally I agree. It's still like.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, I would say a graphic equalizer is useful to have, especially if you're playing live. You don't know what kind of room you're going to be in, and you might need to cut some frequencies.
Yeah.
And but we've got a lot more fun pedals to come. So.
Yes,
it was a bit of a curveball.
Cool. That was cool though.
All right, I think we're good.
I think we're good. Yes. And as always, please comment down below if you thought it was better on the trumpet.
No, it was better.
I think it clearly was.
It was definitely better on the guitar, this one.
Right. Thanks a lot. Adios. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.